You may bow, my royal subjects. Guess what today is? Q! And I am the queen. Well, hold on a second. Actually, it's Q-U. Because guess who I love? King U. And he is always following along behind me. So, we'll talk in a minute. I'm going to get out of my queen dress. See you soon. I'm back without my lovely queen gown, only with my crown. And I'm going to keep it on so you can remember that Q is the beginning of the word queen. So I'm going to leave my queen crown on. Now, I wanted to teach you the sign for Q and then teach you the sign that we're going to use to make queen. But I want to tell you something really important first. Remember I said when I was dressed up like a queen that King U always followed along behind me? Actually, in English, Q-U make a digraph. And I've been reading about the letters Q-U. That is riveting. That means really interesting things to read about, Q and U. So when Q and U are together, U is not a vowel. Do you remember we talked about the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. Do you remember that? There are 5 letters that we call vowels. A, E, I, O, U. So when U comes after Q, it's not acting like a vowel. Q and U make a consonant sound together, and it sounds like the beginning of the word queen. It's the qua, qua. It kind of feels in your mouth like a K and a W, k and wa, qua, qua, put together, qua, qua. So Q, U is a consonant, and it says qua, qua. So when we do the sign for it, we're going to do Q and U together because that is really how the first sound of queen is spelled. Now, to do the sign for Q, you know U already. To do the sign for the Q, do you remember when we did the letter G and I said it was like a sideways point? I should have told you what to do with your thumb in the back. Okay, because probably most people were kind of doing it maybe like this. Here's what you need to do to make Q. So your thumb, maybe I can do it this way. Your thumb isn't way back here. Your thumb is kind of straight. Let me show you from the top. So your thumb isn't down here when it's the point. Your thumb, it's like you're making, almost like if you were going to do like a duck, like quack, 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 and you had the 2 fingers there to be the bill of the duck. That is what the Q sign is. We should have done Q-U for quack because Q-U also starts quack. Isn't that cool? Okay, so anyway, your fingers are like this. So for G, we just saw the side or the front. So you couldn't see what your thumb was doing. For Q, you do the same thing, but you point it down like this, okay? So it looks like this. The sign for Q is down. Now your hands aren't way up in the air like this. It's more down like this. Let me back up like this. Okay, okay. So Q, U spells qu, qu, like in queen. I'm going to show you the sign for queen in just a minute. But let's practice the Q-U again. So these kind of fingers, but pointing down. And it kind of show the person the front part of your hand like that, okay? And you can do both hands if you want to. Q, U, remember umbrella, there's the U. But when it's with Q, it's not acting like a vowel, like you hear an umbrella. It's part of a team. It's Q and U together, okay? So, putting them together. Q, U says qu, queen. Now here's what we're going to do for queen. So my friend, Mrs. Corson, gave me this beautiful sash that says, I'm retired. But it still makes me feel like a queen. So have you ever seen queens and kings wear these sashes over their shoulders? So here's the sign in sign language for queen. You make your Q, and then you just take that from your shoulder down to, I'm going to back up here, down to your hip where your sash ends. So it goes, so where the sash starts to where it ends, and you do it with your Q finger because that's queen. If you wanted to say king, do you remember the sign for K? You do the king finger and do your sash. So king and queen has the same sign except for the letter. So I think that's pretty cool. So one last time, we'll do it with the queen at the end. Are you ready? Q, U says qu, queen. Queen. Good job. All right, here we go with my homemade worksheet because the one that I had only had lowercase q, u on it. So I just made up my own, kind of similar to the other one. So your teachers will give you whatever kind of papers they want you to practice on. We're going to look at lowercase q first. So guess what it looks like if I cover up where it goes in the basement? Does it remind you of a lowercase a? So Q is actually a magic C letter. I know when we did letter G, I said that was the last one. I forgot about Q. So you're going to go magic C, helicopter up, and then you're going to go down into the basement, and then you're going to turn this way. So it looks like this. Magic C, helicopter up into the basement, U-turn. I always say U-turn because do you remember when we made the letter U? See how the Q has a U hiding in it, that curve? So I would practice the Q and the U together because it helps you know if the Q is going to turn towards the U, it helps you know which way to go. Because the most common thing I would see in kindergarten is that students would go like this. Now, some of you are saying, that's a G, that's a G. You're right. And if you're a little confused, wondering, is that a G or a Q? Remember Grandma's cookies and the cookie crumbs would fall and you would want to catch them? That's why the G curves this way to catch Grandma's cookie crumbs. Q turns the other way because what's coming behind it? A U, exactly. So it looks like this. Magic C, down into the basement, U-turn, and then make your U. Magic C into the basement, U-turn, and make your U. And this, wow, I did pretty good today, you guys. I actually think I like this one the best, though. All right, and remember, this is a G. That is not a Q. All right, wait until you see letter school today. Woohoo! When you complete all of the letters the first time and you've had that blue screen on the back, all of the letters go up. It reminds me of coins, like clinking into a bank, and then it changes to that orange screen. So the same thing will happen on your uppercase Q if you have been keeping up with handwriting and Q is your last letter. That's going to happen. And then I'll do a short lesson to show you what happens next with Letter School. Maybe you can watch it next week or something. Because in my class, when we were done with all of our letters, we were not done with handwriting. Handwriting is something you can practice and practice and practice. I'm still practicing it. So anyway, I hope that you were excited when that happened and that you will be excited when it happens on your iPad. And now on to uppercase Q. All right, here we go. Oh my goodness, with the last handwriting video of the year from Mrs. Leipold. So uppercase Q all by itself looks like this. It's like all of the uppercase letters. It's the whole house on the upstairs and the downstairs, not the basement. And it's a big magic C. And then I used to tell my kids, it's like, you know how a ball or an orange would roll and roll and roll unless you give it a kickstand. If you ride a two-wheeler bike, you know that when you put the kickstand down, the bike leans on it and it won't fall over. So right about in here, you give that circle a kickstand and it turns it into a Q. It won't roll from there. So magic C, close it up, and then give it the kickstand. The thing to practice is to make sure your kickstand isn't too big. Sometimes people would make it a little bit too big. But that's really the only mistake that I would ever see. Now, when you practice writing it, it would be better, I think, if you did the Q and the U together. The kickstand is going to go towards the U. Kind of like lowercase q did a U-turn. Uppercase Q has the kickstand pointing over by the Q. So magic C, close it up, kickstand, U. Magic C, close it up, kickstand, U. There we go. And I think I like that one the best. All right, have fun on your uppercase Q with Letter School.